everybody, it's Tom Stoukas coming to you from Sarnia, Ontario on Sunday, September 28th. Pretty nice day. I hope everybody's had a nice weekend. A little boring, for me at least. Uh, Not too much crazy, anything crazy today on my X feed. So, just kind of the same rehash of the same stuff that we talked about before, including the digital ID coming, maybe the hate crimes bills, censorship bills coming. Uh, I heard, seem maybe there'll be another round of Iran, a war with Iran. We'll see. So, but kind of slow news for now. I guess calm before the storm, maybe. Let's see. Let's start at the start here of the day. Yeah, very blah. I've been feeling weird too, like just all night, buzzed up all night. Who knows? All right. Here's I saw this the other day. Someone put this in where is it? Mississauga. Indian rats. The Indian fatigue in Toronto. As an immigrant of Indian descent who routinely strolls past this walkway with my family, I feel hurt by racism like this. The candidate I chose to immigrate to had a reputation of being a country of the nicest people on God's green earth. Yes, our reputation for nice is gone, I think. Indian fatigue, I guess. I don't know. If this guy says the main cause of anti-India hate is Indian behavior. What would you like the police to investigate, Darshan? Okay, because this guy's saying the police need to investigate. I mean, it's vandalism, I guess, graffiti. But this stuff like this is they're going to use stuff like this, the Indian fatigue stuff like this, to kind of clamp down on, especially, and even online, like stuff like they'll say, oh, we got to go online, clamp down on the online too. So yeah, I'm sure they'll use incidents like this to their advantage, the government. Because like I said yesterday, I think if the hate crimes legislation, they're trying to do hate crimes everywhere. Because the internet's getting out of control and they don't want people saying how they feel. And the states are going to do the hate crime, they'll say it's to fight anti-Semitism. In Canada, it's not as big a deal. The APAC and that's not as big a deal here, so they'll say it's to fight like racism like against Indians or whatever, Africans or whatever, Muslims from immigrating to Canada. They'll say, oh, that's hate crime. That's what I see coming. And stuff like this will say, look, we need hate crime legislation. Okay. Hundreds of road fatalities, the endless rapes and sexual assaults, TFW abuse, high youth. Yeah, I mean, stuff doesn't happen in a vacuum. People have some Indian fatigue in Toronto. I'm assuming. All right. What's this here? Tim Hortons. So it looks like Tim Hortons is trying to get a little nostalgia dividend going. So they're using their old design cups. And this Bruce said it well. I said I could care less about Tim Hortons vintage cups until they bring back the vintage employees. I'll be boycotting. Yeah, it's bad. Like, so many people used to go. I'm telling you, they used to live like they should have been shareholders because they would get coffee like 2-3 times a day from Tim Hortons. Especially if you were meeting up with people to do a job or to do just a social thing, people would stop and grab coffee. And I know I don't anymore, so we'll see. It's gone. I remember when they sold it to that Burger King group. It's when that really started hitting the downhill. Because they were sold to Wendy's and then they got back. They got turned private again. But that's when it all started going to shit. The only time I get Tim Hortons is if I'm out and I have to do a few things and I don't want the coffee right now because I have to do a few things, but I want it later, but I'm not going home. So that's when I might get one. But that's it. Before I used to go every day, every morning, 2-3 times a day. I don't know why, what I was thinking. Okay, next. Oh, this is funny. The Anti-Defamation League, they're making headlines on who they classify as hateful. And I guess Charlie Kirk's organization is one of those groups, even though he was like so slopping for Israel all the time. They still put him on this their hate group list or hate. Yes. Okay, so no matter how hard you slop for them, they still put you on the list. Okay. Here's Greg Wycliffe. All this hate symbol talk should scare the shit out of everyone. They'd make a red MAGA hat a criminal hate symbol if they could get away with it. Yeah, like they're gonna try and do all that kind of stuff. Like if you're wearing like a shirt, I don't know, anything basically that you're wearing or carrying, they're gonna make a hate symbol. It's coming. It's coming. And the conservatives, I'm not really confident that they're going to stand up to it. You think it's their job. But I just don't see them standing up to it all. Given past performance experience here. Here's this. If the government of Canada can use the War Measures Act to freeze bank accounts for protesting, lie about police asking for it, and then have it deemed unconstitutional, they are definitely capable of using Bill C8 and Bill C2 to cancel your internet and open your mail. Yeah, they're doing all these sorts of bills coming. Public safety bill, internet hacking bill, whatever, and they're going to do more, but it's all devil in the details. They can shut you off. Yeah, these commies, they'll do it too. In Canada. Next. And of course, this is after yesterday. Mark Carney was asked about, how the States is tightening up on the visa rules for Indians, particularly, and Carney's like, "Oh yeah, we'll take them if they don't want to go. If they can't go to the States, we'll take them." So this made the Indian newspaper Hindustan Times. India celebrates as Mark Carney says he's looking to woo H-1B immigrants from the USA. More replacement workers at 7% unemployment. Unbelievable. So here's the headline. Hope from Canada for Indians? Carney woos H-1B visa holders after $100,000 fee hike. Yeah, of course. They're going to bring in more, of course, because that's what they want. Like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll have to see how that affects it. But yeah, no surprise. Globalist traitors filling up the country with Indians and more Indians. There's so many, though. There's billions of them. Okay. This is a video is making the rounds. It's two influencers that are very in the pocket of the Israelis, and they push a really pro-Israeli message, and they're getting kind of made fun of on the internet because it's like it's so cringy, this video, and it's like you figure Israel, they got like they own they're pretty sure run Hollywood and they got tons of money, so you figure they would do a better job with their influencers. This is just really bad. It's like what are they spending the money on? Let's see what this is. It was funny.
Notices Jews are out here.
So they're trying to get, improve Israel's image because it's taking a beating, especially with young people. So these guys are supposed to be the guys that are going to help them.
Imagine supporting people who start wars just to lose the wars so they can cry about it and then try it all again.
You must see anti-Semites are literally obsessed with Jews. Now walk with me. While you must see anti-Semites are stacking eviction notices, Jews are out here stacking up businesses.
Jews control all the industries. Maybe if you spent more time taking notes from successful people, you wouldn't have to spend your nights and weekends spreading hate from your anonymous account with an anime profile picture.
That's where
Do you work as hard as Jews? Do you network like Jews?
Gotta work harder.
You're too busy cheering on a group of musty terrorists who smell like dirty earring backs. And if we're gonna keep it real, you're really mad because your income is giving side hustle.
Period.
How you gonna hate from outside, Shabbat? You can't even get in.
Okay, that's it. So basically, they're saying you making fun of you're criticizing Israel and Jewish people because you're lazy and unsuccessful and you're jealous of them. Look, whatever. I don't think it's a very successful strategy. It's just, I don't know. That's the seems like the kind of reaction to that video is like, wow, Israel's doing a really shitty job of promoting itself. Okay. Next post. Here's this Indians. They like to. Apparently, they like Indians use VPNs to mass report people because they're been spamming report so many times that the system thinks that. Okay, so basically, they use this for people that they mass report people that they don't like that criticize Indians. So I haven't had that happen to me yet. I guess I'm not anti-Indian enough. Okay. Now, I saw this video, Ontario's to Discover from 1980. It's pretty cool. A good little bit of nostalgia. That's a cool video. I kind of vaguely remember it, but that's the kind of video like the commies in this country, the Antifa and the commies, they would see that video and they would say, "Oh, that Canada's dead. It's horrible. That's they would just be disgusted by it. They'd say that's not the Canada we want. I'm glad that Canada's gone." But yeah, it's gone all right. This one is interesting. This is the parliamentary budget officer. We were talking about this yesterday, and I guess he's saying we're screwed. The deficit's huge, and anyway, you can hear him for himself. But we'll see the budget. The federal budget's coming November 4th. So see how bad it is. Let's see what this guy says.
In terms does that mean?
I think the certainly from our perspective, in the report we clearly indicated that based upon the path we're currently on, by our estimates, it raises significant concerns with respect to the sustainability of federal finances.
What does that mean in layman's terms? I'm asking because we hear that word a lot from economists, particularly when we're talking about deficits or balanced budgets, you know, what isn't sustainable. When you say that you have concerns about the sustainability of our financial picture here in this country, like what in layman's terms does that mean?
I think certainly from our
We're
perspective,
broke.
we're at the precipice. So we haven't gone over the precipice. We're kind of looking out over the cliff at this point. And we're at a point where, based upon our numbers, things cannot continue as they are. And I think everybody knows that, right? So what we've done is we've taken what everybody's feeling in terms of the anxiety across the country at this point, positive economic growth that doesn't necessarily feel very good, and we've actually put numbers around it with respect to the federal government's deficits over the next 5 years. And for us, it's really important to set the table for parliamentarians so they know what to expect, so they have a better sense of the overall context within which they're going to be presented with Budget 2025.
So what's at stake at the precipice? Like, if you fall over the cliff, what's there? If you're able to go the other way, what's there?
Well, obviously, you don't want to go over the precipice. That's probably...
Like, what happens, though, if you do?
Nothing good. And nothing good. And I think for parliamentarians, and certainly I think all Canadians are very much aware of the challenging economic times that we're in, and the fact that we're going to have more challenging times as we go forward, both in terms of trying to manage the deficit. So there isn't a lot of fiscal space the government has to actually work with at this point. But I think also more broadly looking at the restructuring of the Canadian economy. So something we've touched on as part of the committee hearings, and I think other people have highlighted, is this world order that we've had for the past 75 years is done. That both has geopolitical considerations around additional spending or increasing spending on the defense side, which is definitely a spending pressure. It also has immediate pressures in terms of the Canadian economy and the definitely the attenuating or the diminishing of the linkages with the U.S. and our need to find other linkages outside the country. So in short, it means a lot of change within a relatively short period of time.
I wanted...
In the report...
So yeah, it's kind of interesting. He's basically saying, buckle up, get ready, we're screwed. So we'll see. Should be, it's not going to be pretty. Get lots of guns. Here's some of the comments. Who's this supposed to appeal to? $150 million a year budget, and the best propaganda they could produce is an obnoxious gay black dude and a Jewess with a filler addiction. Yeah, it's weird. So, okay, here's Foreign Minister Anita Anand, and we're just listening to this guy say how broke Canada is and how we're going to have huge, big challenges and changes. And then here she is talking about Ukraine and how we're going to support Ukraine. And like, we've already sent $22 billion to Ukraine. Millions of guys are dead, or people are dead, for basically nothing over a piece of land that they've been kind of fighting over for centuries. Like that stretch of Ukraine has been turned over so many times. It's not even funny. Anyway, $22 billion. We're a mess, socially and financially, but we have enough to shovel $22 billion, which really just got blown up. It didn't help anybody. And so these traitors want to keep the war going. They really, what they want is a war with Russia, which I don't think a lot of Canadians want. I don't want a war with Russia. I don't know why we have a fight with Russia. They're Christian, mostly white, northern climate country. They like hockey. Like, I don't understand. Why are we mortal enemies with Russia? Let's listen to what this traitor has to say.
Support Ukraine military aid in terms of NATO's position, as well as Canada's foreign policy. we are completely on
We have an
side.
even Indian for we have an Indian for foreign minister too.
To ensure that the territorial integrity of Ukraine, meaning Crimea as well, remains intact, and that the decisions about Ukraine's foreign.
And that's how you know they want to go to war with Russia, because Crimea, Russia will go nuclear before they give back Crimea. They had a naval base there for hundreds of years, and even when Ukraine was in control of Crimea, the Russians still had control of this huge naval base. They're never going to give Crimea back. So by saying that, and the other Europeans have said that, it means they want to keep the war going. But Canada's broke, but we're going to keep the war going.
Rest with Ukraine itself. We are here, having already put $22 billion on the table to support Ukraine, military aid, humanitarian aid, financial aid. I met with Minister Sabia, the foreign minister. I also saw President Zelensky at our Bring the Ukrainian Children Home from Russia event that Prime Minister Carney and President Zelensky co-hosted. And let's just say the number of countries in the room was astounding. We are all on the same page about the need to bring this war to an end as soon as possible.
Yeah, they say they're going to bring it to an end as soon as possible. I don't think that's what they mean when they say that. If Trump wasn't elected president, they wouldn't even. Putin wouldn't have even met with the president. So to say they want an end to the war, they're lying. All right, what's next? This one. This has been making the rounds. It's some dude. This is Young and Dundas Square. I'm not going to call it Sankova. Bullshit. And this is what Toronto's become. It's like a third world country. I was in Toronto a few weeks ago, and downtown is literally there's people lying around, all messed up or homeless, and it's so normal, and it's not just in the alleys. It's like right in the middle of like right by City Hall, by all the tourist sections, Yonge Street. So yeah, this is totally genuine, and it's just a dirty third world city now. Dirty third world city. And it'll spread throughout Ontario. All right, this is in Ottawa. So you used to see this in the States, where the gangs, the inner city gangs, would swarm the malls or do a quick, smash and grab, because California had all these very lax laws on theft. But you see, the Canadian gangbangers must have saw it and said, "Oh, that's a good idea because the Canadian laws are so lenient. We should do that here." So yeah, I'm surprised that hasn't happened in our mall in Sarnia. There's a couple jewelry stores, and I don't think that by the time the security guards reacted, they'd be gone. By the time the cop, I don't want to give anybody ideas, but I'm surprised it hasn't happened. I'm sure it's just a matter of time. This is Ottawa, though. It happens in Toronto too. Mostly Toronto, now Ottawa. Is that it? Wow. Slow day, I guess. So yeah, that's the stuff for today. So, kind of boring, I know. So we'll see how stuff unfolds over the next week or so, and anything new with all these new pieces of legislation coming in as after Parliament resumed after all these months. So keep an eye on it, see how it goes. Until then, I'll be back, Wednesday, which is October 1st, isn't it? It's crazy. So yeah, Wednesday, October 1st. Till then, have a nice night. See you later.